and this is the reason why I picked this one up. I picked it up. So I picked up the new Hourglass, the Ambient Lighting Edit Unlocked palette, and this is the one in the dragon, and I'm excited to review it for you guys today. Try it on, swatch it, and compare it to the jellyfish, and I'll keep you posted if there are any repeats, if it's worth it or not. So let's get started. So first, I'm gonna start with some Hourglass products on my face since it is an Hourglass video. But first, we're gonna use my favorite Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter as my primer, and this is in the shade 1 Fair. The one in the shade 2 also works if you have fair skin. If you're wondering, I have both. And yeah, I'm excited. I said I was not gonna pick it up because there's repeats usually, but I will let you know soon why I got it. And yeah, and on my eyes, I have used the Dior eyeshadow palette, and this is in the shade, what is it, 669. I might as well show you the colors. It's this one right here. Love it. This is such a pretty palette. So that's what I have on my eyes because I don't have any Hourglass eyeshadows, or I mean, I do have the one individual one, but not a palette. And I was gonna use this palette on my eyes as well, but I did read inside a note saying not made for eyes. So yeah, we're not gonna use it on the eyes. Maybe one of these days I will use the bronzer, but you have to be careful. So keep that in mind. So are you guys picking up any of these palettes or not? You guys like my new chair? It's a little bit taller, as you can see. Yeah, it's, you know, bigger. I got this from IKEA, the chair, and I have this blanket from Amazon in case anyone's wondering. Okay, so for foundation, I'm gonna use the Hourglass Hydrating Skin Tint or Veil Skin Tint, and this one is in the shade 3. With the palette, I also got a really nice Hourglass lipstick, which we're gonna use today. I'm curious to see because I don't have any Hourglass lipsticks. So let's start with this. I don't want to go with too much. And I don't know, yeah, let's use this Nude Sticks Blend and Buff brush. And I'm gonna use this side just to blend it. And then I'm gonna go in with my sponge. Yeah, so let me know. This palette that I got is the lightest one. They came out with 3. I don't know. I wasn't going to get it. They're so expensive. I will let you know all the details soon. But it's just crazy expensive. If you're a collector, it's really nice to have them all. But if they're repeats, like I said, it's really not worth it. So I'll let you know my thoughts and if I have any repeats in this palette. Wow, this is such a pretty skin tint, right? It's very nice and natural. I think that's all I need. I don't think I need any more than that. Very pretty. Hopefully it's not too bright. It's very dark outside, so I have to use a little bit more intense lighting here. Okay, so I'm gonna use my Hourglass Concealer. Oh, this is a beautiful concealer. I love it. It's very hydrating. It's high coverage. This is in the shade Birch. I don't like that the actual name is like a sticker and it's falling off, but it's very hydrating and so nice and creamy. Also quite thick formula. Do I need any on the outer corners? I don't know, just a little bit. Be careful because my eyes are already done. So I'm gonna go with my sponge now and kind of blend everything together with the foundation or skin tint. Oh, nice and brightening this is. So pretty. I actually love Hourglass products. Their brushes as well are one of my favorites. It's just, they're just very expensive, but the quality is there, right? They're worth it. Oh, it's so hard to do your concealer when you have your eyes done. Okay, make sure that everything is blended. Very pretty. Let's move on to the actual palette now. So it came into this beautiful gold box. It says Hourglass right here. Where is it? Right here. It's the dragon one, which is the lightest one. They also have the Evil Eye, and they also have the Flamingo one, which is more for medium and deeper skin tones. So I stuck with the one that, because I have really fair skin. And this is what it looks like out of the packaging. And we can peel this off now. brand new, as you can see. And the same as the other palette, you have on the back the numbers and also what each product is in the palette and what they do. It's made in Italy. Beautiful. So same thing, it opens up right here. You can see it comes with a nice big mirror. And here is the palette. Now this doesn't stay up by itself, it falls down, so you have to hold it up in order to keep it open. But let me hold it like this. Okay, so here's the palette. I'm going to keep it at a distance so you guys can see the actual shades. If I bring it too close, it'll be too bright from the lights. Or maybe it's okay like this. But look at those shades. Okay, so this is the Ambient Lighting Edit Unlocked Dragon palette. Retails for $122 Canadian. It features 3 new limited edition artworks and 5 new ambient lighting shades to create your perfect flush and lit from within glow. So each palette comes with bronzer, powders, highlighter, and blushes. It includes 5 brand new shades of blush, bronzer, and highlighter to diffuse, enhance, and add glow to the complexion. A little bit about this palette here. It has the bronzer right here, and this bronzer is a new bronzer, and it's a soft bronze matte natural bronzer. Then we have 2 blushes, the peach and the purple one, a mauve haze soft plum. This is like a soft plum. And then the other one is a peach fusion, which is like a soft peach blush. I love it. Look how pretty that is. So we have 2 powders. So we have the Ambient Finishing Powder Dream Light. This is a cool pearl with soft lavender. And then we have right here the Finishing Powder Divine Light, which is new, and it's translucent with a sheer pink. This is new. This doesn't look like it's new, but it's not the same as in this palette. Okay, so let me swatch them. I'm gonna compare it to this palette. Let's see when I open this palette. Yeah, same thing. This doesn't kind of stay open, so it's the same thing. So here's the difference in the palette. So this is the new one right here, and then this is my other one. You can see that they're different, so I'm happy that the blush shades are different. I'm happy that my bronzer is different. And yeah, let's swatch them on the hand to see, and then we're gonna apply this one to the face. So I'm only gonna swatch the bronzer and the blushes and the highlighter, not the powders. But like I said, the powder, everything is new except the Dreamlight Cool Pearl Lightning Finishing Powder, but that one is not in the Jellyfish palette. Okay, let's start with the blushes here. Oh, here's a sneak peek before we're gonna add the other palette beside it. So here is the difference. This is the new palette right here. New palette right here. And then this is my old palette. Okay, so here we have the, here I have the peach one, then the light mauve, the bronzer, and the highlighter. You can see it's more of a champagne golden highlighter. And then in this palette right here, which is this one, the Jellyfish one, we have the darker blush, then we have the lighter one, the bronzer, and the highlighter, which is a little bit more icy. So that's the difference. If you are interested in picking this one up and you have the Jellyfish palette, you can see the difference in the palettes. I'm so happy, and this is the reason why I picked this one up, because everything is different. Nothing is a repeat from one palette to another, including the powders. The powders in the Jellyfish, I have the finishing powder in Diffused Light right here, and then the finishing powder in Ethereal Light. The powders in this one, we have number 1 is finishing powder Dream Light, and the number 3 finishing powder in Divine Light. So they're all different. So we're gonna use the whole palette on the face today. So here is another final look. Like, look at that. I'm so happy. They are different. So pretty. This is like a peach. I love the peach fusion and the mauve haze. And then this is more cool tone, which is more mauvey and pink. I love that I have the two options. Perfect. So let's move on now to applying it. Again, it's $122 Canadian. It is expensive. So I'm going to be using the Hourglass brushes. Like I said, I love these brushes so much. So I'm going to go in with this big fluffy one. And I'm going to start in with the bronzer. Ooh, you see how much it picked up? Very nice. Okay, so which one should we start with? This one? Okay, let's start here and see. Ooh. So the difference is this one is more, the new one is more cool tone. They're both warmer, but if you look really up close, this is a little bit more cool tone and this has a little bit more warmth in it, but not a huge difference from what I see on camera or on the hand. But you know, they say it's a new shade, so let's go based on that. So let's see how this look. You guys see me well? Let me lift this up a bit more. Hold on. Okay, so sometimes if it's hard to go in with this side of the brush because the palette is too small, you can switch to this side and just add with it and then switch it and blend with this side. So far what I'm seeing is really nice. I love the bronzer. I don't find it powdery. I don't like when bronzers are too powdery and they look chalky on the face. This feels like a cream. Like it is a powder, but it looks like it blends like a cream and nice. But I hate this hair, so let me put them up as they keep going into the face. So I'm just gonna intensify it so you guys can see a little bit more. I'm so excited. I got this palette, like I said, because there's no repeats from my jellyfish, and the color story is quite different. It's more warm toned with the peach and the mauve than the pinks, which I love. I don't know if I would have gotten it if it would be a repeat because it's quite expensive. But if you're a collector, I totally understand. It makes sense because you like to collect them. Or if you have like a YouTube channel, it's nice to alternate. Now, another thing I don't like about this is because I think they're limited edition. So I don't know. I hope they keep them longer on their website so people can buy them. I don't like to use products on my channel and then you guys cannot get them if you want them. But again, my channel is not to push you to buy all the new expensive makeup. Is more entertaining, fun, keep you company and play with makeup and show you what I like. I like to apply my highlighter first and then we're gonna go with the blushes. No, let's do blushes in this case because I'm sure you guys wanna see. So what I'm gonna do is on one cheek, I'm gonna go in with one blush, which is this one, and then with this one, and then I'm gonna top them, but I wanna show you individually how they look. Okay, I'm gonna go with this Beaky Beauty 111 brush. It's clean. And I'm gonna go into the peach one. Hopefully it's not too much. I'm just gonna put it to this side so you guys can see the difference in the actual blushes on the cheek. So I suggest instead of dragging, maybe just dab the brush in there because you don't want to contaminate all of the squares with each other. But look at the luminosity. Wow. Look how pretty that is. Do you guys see the luminosity? And I didn't even have to add the highlighter. So I'm going to switch the brush to the other side like this right here. And then we're going to use this side into the mauvey one. Ooh. And let's see how it looks on the cheek. If we see any difference. Because we do see it on the hand. You can see the difference on the hand here. Definitely, I can see the difference. Again, the same luminosity I notice. They're very buildable and they don't feel drying on the cheek. Okay, so it is a very subtle difference. This is more peachy. This is more mauvey with a hint of peach. But I don't think you would be able to tell. If I won't tell you that I'm wearing two different blushes, I don't think you'll be able to tell. So here it is on the hand right here. So this is the first one we applied on this cheek. And then this right here is on this cheek. So you can see they're very similar. This one has a little bit more hint of mauve, but it's not a big difference. So I'm going to go now with the peach. So here is the movie one, and I apply the peach on top just to keep it all consistent. Now, for the sake of this video, I will have a lot more blush on my cheek. Then I'm going to go into the movie one and apply it here because I wanted to show you how this works. And now I'm going to go in with the first fluffy brush, and I like to mush everything together. But I didn't add any highlighter, and look at that highlight. So yeah, this is a little bit more on the peach and bronzy side, which I love. It's really pretty. I love the shades. Okay, so let's move on to the actual highlighter, and then we're going to do the powders. We're going to combine both powders. So for highlighter, I'm going to use this brush, and I'm going to use this side of the brush by Hourglass. And this is the highlighter. It looks quite intimidating and dark in here. So let's see how it looks on my cheek. That's what it looks like on the brush. And oh yeah, it's not bad at all. Ooh. I've noticed that with this highlighter, this Hourglass highlighters, even for my jellyfish palette, it looks so nice throughout the day. Like I can actually see a difference when I wear highlighter. I haven't been a big fan of powder highlighters anymore, but the ones in the Hourglass, they don't seem to feel drying like most powder ones do. Let's see if we add a little bit here. You see the difference? It looks really pretty. I think it's really nice. So here's a close-up. Let me zoom in a little bit more in. It looks wonderful, very healthy and natural looking. Let me move from afar a bit more so you guys can see. What do you guys think? From afar, looks really nice as well, right? I love it. Okay, so let's move on to the actual powders. So we have the two powders right here. We have the one with more of a purplish shift, and this has more of a pink shift. Oh, I just stabbed it. Okay, so I'm going to go with the other side of this small brush. We've used this one for highlighter. I'm going to use this one for powders. And let's start with this powder right here. Very brightening. And I think I'm going to use this in this area. And then I'll use the other one all over, which you can use both. Look how pretty that is, actually. I've noticed these powders are non-drying. If you have mature and dry skin, they're non-drying at all. I love it. It just, I don't know, it just kind of mattified it, but in a nice way. It's not drying or anything. I like it. Now, what I've noticed in the actual highlighter, I think that this highlighter has some shimmers in it. You guys see that? Don't know if you can see any sparkly shimmers right there. And that is from the actual highlighter, which I'm not a big fan of sparkles. I do notice it on the hand now compared to the other. So here is the new one, which is more, oh, look at that shift. That's interesting. And then this is the old one from the jellyfish. So this one has some sparkles in it. So keep that in mind, because if you're not a fan of sparkles all over the face, then maybe go not as intense as I did. Yeah, I guess not a big fan of the sparkles. But let's move on to the other powder now, which is this number 3 powder, which is the finishing powder Divine Light, this one. And just put it kind of all over the face to diffuse everything. So it's very hard to tell the difference in the two powders. I think my suggestion is, so you don't hit pan on one and just leave the other one there, just combine both, because it's hard to see on the face the actual difference in powders. But it's very nice to go around where you applied bronzer and blush and just diffuse everything with the powders. So this is what it looks like. Looks very pretty. Don't see any dryness. All I see is those sparkles, which I wish it didn't have sparkles in it. But let's move on to the lips, because I do have a lipstick. With the purchase of this big purchase of this face palette, I got an Hourglass lipstick, a mini. It's pretty, right? Like, let's see how it actually looks in real life. And this is in the shade, oh, Dahlia. That's the shade right there. Very pretty shade. Oh, it's so pretty. Okay, so the packaging is pretty, feels very super duper light. And there is the logo with a bunny. Aww. Made in Korea. So when you open it up, it has the black tube. And here is the lipstick. So pretty. So do I need a lip liner? I don't know. I'm kind of lazy. Let's see. Add it to the lips and see what we get. Just gonna get the lips a little bit of color. It's really pretty. This might make me want to splurge on an Hourglass lipstick, which goes against my rules of spending so much money on lipsticks. But wow, I can tell the difference of a luxury lip product. Okay, I think I need a lip liner. And I think the perfect lip liner is this Wonderskin Contour Lipliner in the shade Rosewood. Seems very similar. So let's just give it a nice shape. This is a perfect match. This lip liner, so pretty. What do you guys think? Here, hold on. Let me zoom you out a bit. This is such a beautiful lipstick. I might want the big version. Isn't it pretty? I love it. And it's so soft. And I don't know. I'm sure it's not going to last all day long. But a satin cream lipstick. I love the lipstick. Okay, final thoughts. Okay, so you guys know I love my Hourglass skin tint, my concealer, all good, brushes, palette. Now, is it worth it if you have the jellyfish palette to get this one? If you have the budget and you love Hourglass and you're a collector, I say yes, because they're completely different shades in everything, from the powders to the actual bronzer, blushes. Definitely worth it. $122 is expensive. Now, the only thing, my least favorite thing in the palette is that highlighter. Like, this is the new one. Hold on. New palette right here. This is the old palette. Now, the highlighter in the new palette is has some sparkles in it. And I love the shade, but I don't like the sparkles in it. This palette has a beautiful highlighter. This highlighter is just a little bit softer, I've noticed, and doesn't have sparkles. But am I wrong? I don't know if I'm wrong. I do see sparkles on my face. So you guys let me know what you think, or if you have any of these palettes, what you guys think. There's a big difference in the palette. So if you do have the jellyfish and you're thinking about getting this, here is a final look. How do I hold it? Okay, new palette, jellyfish, dragon, jellyfish. So those are the shades right here. Yeah, you can see the big difference in everything. Bronzers look somehow similar. This is more warmer, like I said. Jellyfish more warmer. This is cooler. Blushes more on the peach side, more on the cool side here. The old one with the pinks and mauves. So again, whatever you prefer and like. Maybe you don't like peach blushes, or maybe you don't like pink blushes, or maybe you like both. So that's kind of like you should think about before buying this palette. But here it is on my face. I have dry, mature, and very fair skin. So this is what it looks like. I think that the more you use the palette throughout the day, the more the shades look so much more beautiful. It lasts beautiful throughout the day. I can tell you from my experience with the jellyfish palette. Formula is non-drying and non-powdery. It is a lot of money. You just, keep that in mind. Lipstick, this might make me change my mind on actually splurging on an Hourglass lipstick. And I think I want the same shade in like a bigger one and keep this in my purse. Very soft, creamy, beautiful color, beautiful shade. And I think I might want a big one, but we'll see how much it costs. Anyways, those are my thoughts. I hope this video was helpful in making you decide whether you want to go with a new palette or not, whether there's any repeats or not. Hopefully this was helpful. If it was, don't forget to subscribe, and I cannot wait to see you in my next one. Love you guys. Bye.